public?
Thank you. Al Balbazal, 41 Hall Road. First of all, I want to thank you all for stepping up, because the politics of the dog-eat-dog world, you either love to hate it. But anyways, my question, I have some concerns. I want to go back to the union question. And I apologize, I wasn't here earlier, and I don't know if Marty asked a question about the conflict of interest. If any of you have any type of school teacher or somebody that works in the schools or this town, and that's a simple yes or no. But my main concern is because many towns, there are some towns around the state have put a freeze on their union, on the money that are coming, you know, on their raises. The IRS, 65 and over, did not get any type of Social Security raise. I want to know, where do you all stand on asking the unions, because nobody did it this year like last year, to put a freeze on their raises, and also where you stand on the contract buyouts for insurance? Was that simple?
Mr. Lakers.
I think you should ask for a freeze. I don't think that we're currently in a position where we could give raises. I mean, any article that you read, any television show that you watch or anything tells you that in a time of a recession, you don't raise taxes. And it's funny that you'd mention that, because my mother-in-law just retired from the IRS, and she did get one of those buyouts. They actually asked her to leave earlier. And I think that worked out. I think in the long run, that actually ends up saving them money, because it's money that they would have got by working there, but not quite as much if they stayed on as an employee. The insurance buyout? I don't know about the insurance buyout. I don't know about that, and I don't know about like the accrual of sick pay and stuff like that. I don't necessarily agree that you should get like 90 days of sick pay that you can just cash in when you're all done.
Ms. Whitmore.
I am not prepared at this point to say that I would require a freeze on those employees in town. This is another one of those issues where I think I need more information. I'm running as a candidate, not as a seated budget committee member, and I have a lot to learn. I would want to hear what the voters had to say. I'd want to hear what the fire department and the police department and the other unions had to say about this. I don't think there's such a thing as a simple panacea that's going to resolve these issues. And whether it's a spending cap or any of these other very dramatic moves, we found, I think, doing these things in the past, that they can have unintended consequences. So before I would be prepared to make that decision, I would have to be convinced that it was wise on many levels. I don't have anyone currently in the school system. I only have 4 grandchildren, and they're all in other school systems. So.
Mr. Kern.
Thank you. Al, thank you for the question. Thank you for your service. Twofold question. The first is conflict of interest. In addition to having 3 kids in the school system at Matthew Thornton and at Moose Hill, I have a sister-in-law. In fact, my wife's twin sister is an aide in special ed at the middle school. So when I question something such as, you know, whether we can streamline some of those costs, I recognize it may directly affect a family member of mine, but I'm not afraid to ask the tough questions. So I'll put the conflict of interest issue out there for you all to decide, but I don't think that that affects how I would look at the school budget. On the second part of the question, the freeze and insurance, the buyouts and the insurance freeze, the short answer is, in addition to echoing what Ms. Whittemore said, I don't know. Luckily, we're not in that position. I know that sounds like a politician's answer, and I'm not even elected. But unless you look at the economics and realize what the fallout's going to be, we are in a position where we would be advising the town council. And I also point to the fact that the committee is a team approach, and it's not something that one person can come in and say, this is something that needs to be done, we need to buy people out, we need to freeze these things. I think that there has to be constructive dialogue, and those are certainly pertinent topics that have to be brought up and they have to be explored. But do I have a ready answer for it? No, I don't. But I can assure you, as a taxpayer, that I will go in and ask the tough questions to see if those are feasible things that can be done and should be done.
Thank you. Any other questions from the public? Okay. Ms. Gilmet?
No further questions.
Mr. O'Reilly? Okay, with that, we're going to wrap it up.